A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review today, so cheers. Today I am looking at Star Wars Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade. And on the back it says, when the Jedi Order falls, an Inquisitor rises. Now, first of all, let's just look at this cover. This is freaking awesome. I put off reading this book for a little while. I've had it for quite some time now. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think perhaps my kind of vision of what the book was or what the book would entail was skewed by the Disney Plus Star Wars series. I mean, what the fuck is an Inquisitor? We really don't get any idea. They're just kind of there in the new mythology. But for those of you that don't know, after Order 66, which we saw in Revenge of the Sith, the Inquisitors were kind of Force-sensitive people. Sometimes they were Jedi Padawans or Jedi that turned to the dark side. That would hunt down any Jedi that survived Order 66 under the kind of guidance of the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader himself. Now, Rise of the Red Blade is interesting because we are basically following this main character, Iskat Akaris. We don't know what race she is. We don't know what planet she came from. They're all kind of a mystery to her, which unfolds as the book kind of gets going. As a Star Wars novel, I will say this was fantastic. As just a novel, like if you just want to read it as a novel, this was fantastic. I think the author, Delilah S. Dawson, did a fantastic job of doing a character study of mental health within the IP of the Star Wars universe. Now, I've said that. A lot of people are going to go, but this is fucking Star Wars. We just want lightsabers and shit like that. And why are you bringing real world issues into our fucking great universe and blah, 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 blah. You know what? I was one of you. I was one of those people. I had read some reviews that said that this book dealt with like mental health. There's a bit at the very beginning written by the author that talks about suicide because one of the characters in the book takes their own life. And my thought was just like yours, people. Don't worry. It was, what the fuck? Why are you fucking trying to do this shit to a beloved IP? You know what? After reading this book, I'm just going to say this completely bluntly. Fuck you. The author has found a way to bring the self-harm and mental health problems and all of that kind of stuff to a wider audience by using not only a beloved IP, but by creating a character that is so well written and so deep and that we get to know so well that by the end of the story, you understand a little bit better. I'm not saying, oh, read this book and you'll understand mental health problems. By all means, no. But you understand a little bit better. You can sympathize a little bit better. You can then go and research and look up and identify if people you know, people you love have these issues. I think this was an absolutely fantastic book. It is well within my top 5 Star Wars novels of all time. I will say that quite frankly right now. And I urge everyone, not just Star Wars fans, even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, still read this book. It is absolutely fantastic. Buy the hardcover or the solid edition of paperback. Get it on Kindle. Get it on Amazon Audio. Any way you can. I actually have this as an audiobook as well. It is just phenomenal. So, with that said, if you don't want any spoilers, by all means move to another one of Plaguelands Media's videos. They are all fantastic because Plaguelands Media is fucking awesome. Cheers. But if you want to know what this book is about, stick around for the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
Okay. So, as I said, the main character of this novel is Iskat Akaris. She doesn't know what race she is, and she doesn't know where she's from. We pick up the novel. She is a Padawan to Jedi Master Semper Vey, and Semper Vey basically goes around the galaxy with her Padawan, finding artifacts, both Jedi and Sith, to take back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. In this respect, Iskat is kind of annoyed. She feels that she's not being utilized or trained to the best of her ability. The Jedi are then called to Geonosis to rescue Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme Amidala. Yes, this book begins where the end of Attack of the Clones kind of happens. So there's the arena, there's the Jedi, they're all fighting, but Semper Vey and Iskat, their mission is to take out cannons. There is an ambush by the Geonosians, and Iskat kind of goes berserk apeshit and just fucking mows everyone down, thus showing that she has this amazing combat ability, which a few of the other Jedi Padawans who witnessed this are kind of scared of. There was an incident early on in her training where she pulled down this column trying to retrieve a lightsaber and crushed the legs of her best friend who had to leave the Jedi Order. So when they see her going to go apeshit, everyone's like, what the fuck? But her master is killed by the Geonosians, and when they get back to Coruscant, she has no master and goes through kind of the rituals and all of this kind of thing and is kind of training by herself, but she's being overwatched by some of the other Jedi Masters who are keeping an eye on her. As she is cleaning up her master's kind of room in the Jedi Temple, she discovers a lightsaber that is specifically built for her physiology. She has elongated fingers, so normal lightsabers are a little unwieldy. They have to have ones that are built for kind of your hands, and when she activates it, it has a yellow blade. Now, in Star Wars mythology, the yellow blade signifies that the Jedi wielding it was both a combat expert, at the same time a scholar as well. And she wonders who this person was and why her master had hidden this, because Jedi aren't supposed to kind of keep attachments to things, and it seems like her master had kept this as an attachment. So she is masterless, but she continues training with different masters with her meditation and whatnot. And then she's finally called to a mission to the planet Thule with a Jedi Knight and one of the other Padawans, a guy by the name of Tualon, who is a Twi'lek, who she harbors feelings for. There is a friendship between the two of them. We're not really sure if there is a relationship. Jedi aren't allowed to have those, which Anakin in Attack of the Clones really kind of fucks up, but whatever. Hey, he's cool. So on the planet Thule, there is a Jedi... Jedi... What the fuck? It's a droid factory, not a Jedi factory, you fucking idiot. It's a droid factory. And their job is to take it out. Tualon is there because he's a good splicer, so he can hack into the computers and get the information out. And Iskat and the other Jedi Knight are there to take out the kind of guns and then destroy the like the engine that's running this thing, the kind of factory, I guess you would say. They have clone troopers with them that are kind of going to help them. So they land on the planet and they find a cave in which to set up a base of operations. And in the cave, Iskat discovers a shrine to the dark side. And she doesn't tell anyone what it is, but she kind of knows it. So you get this idea that she harbors some kind of dark side tendencies. The Jedi Knight is killed. He falls off a cliff, climbing up to disable this cannon. And so Tualon and Iskat are forced to finish the mission, which they do. Tualon gets the information, but Iskat cannot disable the factory engines, so to speak, the power grid, because all of the clones with her are dead except for one, so she decides to completely blow it up, which is not what the Jedi wanted. They wanted this to be a subtle kind of dismantling of it, but whatever. She thinks she did the mission. They think she fucked it up. Okay, she gets reprimanded. She's pissed off. Tualon won't talk to her anymore. And she's put in charge of teaching younglings. And she feels that she's being underutilized. Yoda, Mace Windu kind of confront her along with some other Jedi Masters. And she's really angry at this point. She decides to research her home planet. She goes to the Jedi Archives, where she meets the Jedi Master Jocasta. We see her in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan is trying to find Kamino. And she finds a little bit of information on her planet, but not really enough. She's obsessed with this lightsaber. And the name Feyre, who, when her master died on Geonosis, said the name, but it was kind of like a passing thing, and then she's kind of like, who the fuck was this bitch? Or person, I should say. And she suspects it's her mother. She is sent on another mission, this time with Tualon and another Jedi Knight. At this point, they are no longer Padawans. Because of the war, a lot of Jedi have been killed, so they are basically promoting Padawans to the status of Jedi Knight. So they go on this mission, and she's determined, I'm going to do right, we'll work as a team, everything will be good, and that's when Order 66 cuts in. While she was training the Padawans, she had conversations with Mace Windu and Yoda and all the other kind of Jedi Masters. And at the end of one of those conversations, she is sent to retrieve Chancellor Palpatine and bring him to the Jedi Temple. And as she is leading him there, she has a conversation with Palpatine and vents all her frustrations. When Order 66 cuts in, the Jedi with her are cut down. That is one of the Jedi Knights that has been her rival, and Chulon, but she has been spared on the orders of Palpatine. Why? He wants her to join the Inquisitors. She thinks Chulon is dead, so she basically turns her back on him and goes off, and she becomes an Inquisitor. Now, she discovers that the Inquisitors are basically free to learn whatever they want. She feels the Jedi were holding her back. The Inquisitors, not so much. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. This is her chance to learn about her planet, her species, all of that kind of good stuff. So she discovers in her research that the planet she was from is very low tech. They don't speak even basic. And that her mother, Feyre, might still be alive. So she decides to travel there. The only proviso the Grand Inquisitor gives her is, if I call you back for a mission, you have to come. She has some kind of back and forths with people in the Inquisition. They have names like Brother 1, Brother 2, Brother 3, Sister 11, Sister 12, whatever. She makes some enemies. It's really cool to see her kind of holding her own, using her powers the way that they were always meant to be used. And she ultimately ends up going to her home planet, discovering her family and discovering her mother washed out of the Jedi. Her mother failed her trials and came back, had a child, couldn't handle kind of this, I could have been a Jedi, but I failed. Gave the baby to Semper Fae, who was her master, who basically was Iskat's master, who promised to look after her and protect her. And then she went out in the wilderness and killed herself. So Iskat leaves, not wanting the Inquisitors to find this place and kind of take out her family, because she knows that they prey upon the weaknesses of the Inquisitors. They cut all familial ties, all of that kind of stuff. She ends up fighting with one of the Inquisitors that she used to know as a Padawan, and discovers that actually Darth Vader comes in to test all of these young Inquisitors to see whether they're worthy of being under his kind of rule. Although the Grand Inquisitor thinks he's in charge, it's really Darth Vader. Darth Vader fights Iskat, and Iskat does some awesome shit. She basically takes one of her rivals, throws him at Vader while igniting his lightsaber using telekinesis to try and impale Vader. And they have a back and forth. Vader ultimately gets Iskat in the kind of force choke thing, but Iskat realizes he's using his breathing mask, and with her telekinesis disables some of the wires so Vader can't breathe, and Vader drops her and storms off, but gets the last word in the end. It's a fucking amazing fight. Iskat becomes an Inquisitor, discovers that Chulon survived Order 66, and he is now an Inquisitor as well, and he has a grudge against her because she left him to die. So they constantly fight, but ultimately become lovers, because in in the Sith, you're allowed to do that. In the Jedi, you're not supposed to have that kind of relationship. They go on a mission to kind of hunt down Jedi. They discover one of the Jedi Masters has been hiding. He has a family now, and Vader says, kill the Jedi. We'll kill the Jedi. I want you to capture the child. Doesn't matter what happens to the mother. So Vader fights this Jedi Master while the Inquisitors go after the mother and baby. Iskat finds them first, lets the mother escape on a shuttle, and as the shuttle's taking off, she uses her telekinesis to take the baby from the mother and ultimately gives the baby to Vader, and kind of Vader acknowledges that what she's done. They all thought she'd failed the mission, and she's like, no, I didn't. Here's the baby. What happened to the mother, no one cares about, but now that mother will never trust a person again. Back on Coruscant, they're in the Jedi Temple, or the Inquisitorius, I should say. And Iskat has this kind of ritual where whenever she succeeds on a mission, she will take a bottle of whatever alcohol that planet's famous for and drink it when she gets back. So her and Chulon are getting drunk, and Chulon starts talking about how dissatisfied he is. And at the same time, Vader realizes this. And so Vader gets this notion that Iskat and Chulon can no longer be trusted. They can no longer be Inquisitors, because not only are they in love with each other, but they are dissatisfied with the way things are going. So he tries to kill them, but ultimately they get away. There is a chase through Coruscant where they are jumping on speeders, very reminiscent of Attack of the Clones, the chase scene in Attack of the Clones with Obi-Wan and Anakin. And Vader ends up catching up with them, and they both are killed by each other's lightsabers. As Vader is force choking them, he forces them to kind of stab each other with the lightsabers, ending Iskat Akaris's life and her lover Chulon's, and thus ends Rise of the Red Blade. Now, as a Star Wars novel, was this good? Fuck yes. This had aspects of Geonosis, Revenge of the Sith. This had all kinds of cool shit from the TV shows that you kind of recognize. There are characters in there that you read and go, I know who that is. I know who that is. It was really, really fun. Would I recommend this to anybody? I said this at the beginning, but yeah, fuck yeah, you got to read this book, everyone. The character study of Iskat Akaris is phenomenal, which leads me to believe that, and I haven't read up on who this author is, but it seems like they've dealt with some stuff, and this is their way of kind of getting it out there. I absolutely love books like this. That they take an IP that we all know and love, and they don't just regurgitate the same things over and over again. That they take the time to put their own spin on it. And it can be real world issues or whatever, but it's in there. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but shouldn't we keep this stuff out of here? Star Wars is Star Wars, real world is real world. It doesn't matter. If it affects you, if it touches you, if it speaks to you, use it. That's all I'm saying. Just fucking use it. So, Star Wars Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade, absolutely phenomenal novel. In my top 5 Star Wars novels of all time. I cannot recommend this enough. Go out there, read it. Go and watch all the Disney Plus shows, the movies, whatever. just enjoy it. Just enjoy fucking Star Wars. I mean, come on, it's fucking Star Wars. Just have fun with it. Don't fucking, oh, they did this with my favorite character, I'm boycotting them. Fuck you. I've heard this shit about The Acolyte, and people are getting angry about The Acolyte, and oh, we're cancelling season 2. The fucking TV show isn't even out yet, you fucking morons. Watch it and then comment. Gee, fuck me. Like, just enjoy that you're getting more content. You fucking wastes of time. Bitching about shit from a fucking movie trailer or a TV trailer. Fuck you. That's what I say. Fuck the lot of you. Okay, I'm done. Cheers, everyone. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, do all that shit, but please don't fucking bitch about shit that hasn't even been released yet because you think you're fucking owed something because you've been watching this shit from your parents' basement for 20-something fucking years, you pieces of fucking scum. Okay. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and read a fucking book, people.